Hello, everybody. Can you believe that it is the end of the semester? What I like to do at the end of the semester is just create one final video, kind of be able to say goodbye, but more importantly, to also just kind of share with you some things that I've learned and some things that I've appreciated about our specific class this semester. Um, I'm still a fairly recent teacher. I think I may have mentioned that earlier on over the course, but what I've appreciated about this class is just the spirit of kindness that I've seen characterizing the discussion board. And in my interactions with all of you over email or over discussion board or whatever, I've just really noticed how this class has a spirit of cooperation and of just great attitudes and good behavior. Not good behavior necessarily, but just the kindness that has characterized all my interactions with you. And I just want to let you know how much I appreciate that. It's something that I've noticed, and I appreciate you being patient with me. And I appreciate the things that you've been doing to support each other. Um, that there's a lot of special things that happen in the Pathways program, but that atmosphere of just working together to help each other learn and grow is something that I hope that you've found and that you've benefited from. It's also something that I hope that you can take with you in your whatever you do in the future, whether you go on to further education or whatever. I hope that you can, even though you may not be doing something affiliated specifically with BYU Idaho, and maybe you are, I hope that you can take on that atmosphere of wanting everybody to improve and to be happy together as you work. I hope that you can take that with you and be proactive in helping that be a part of other classes that you are a part of. Um, Probably in my last announcement, you may have seen that I encourage all my students to try and think of one thing that this class has really helped them to learn, help them to grow with. So to reciprocate, I'd like to share one thing that I've learned in the class this semester. At the beginning of the semester, there's just a lot of crazy things going on in my life, mostly all good things. Uh, a little bit before the semester started, my husband was called to be in the bishopric, which is great, but it's also just busy and a little bit different and something that we weren't necessarily expecting and that he's kind of trying to figure out. With that, I was released from my calling as the primary president, which on the one hand made me a little bit less busy, but also was kind of harder for me than I thought it would be. I just really missed the kind of the feeling of, I don't want to say just love and appreciation that I had as I worked with all the women in my presidency and with all the children and their families. I just missed the spirit of camaraderie and feeling like I had something really good that I could put my time and my effort into. So we were all kind of dealing with that. And then my husband is also in an MBA program where he's gone a couple days a week or a couple days a month to do his school. So, and then he has homework as well. We also found out that we're expecting a baby, which is super exciting. It's also a little bit scary for us just because we're always high risk pregnancies, just based on issues we've had in the past. So, kind of trying to deal with that and trying to, deal with my growing daughter, who's, make sure she has the time that she needs from me. So anyway, just a lot of things going on at the beginning of the semester, and I was really, for a couple of weeks there, was really stressed out about, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, but stressed out about how am I going to put the time in to really being the teacher that I want to be? Like, how am I going to have the energy for that? And just be in a good place so that I can be what these students need from me. And I feel a lot of responsibility with that. And it was really it was hard. It was kind of just something that I dealt with. And I want to share an experience that I had with you about that I just know that Heavenly Father's mindful of us. I went to a church one week and was just sitting there, and a man who I've worked with a little bit on the ward council, somebody I really respect and admire, he was giving a talk, and he said, I just wanted to share about, I don't even remember what his talk was about, but the first thing he said was he had been listening to a podcast from BYU, and this podcast had been about learning to let things go. Learning to be happy with our efforts, even if they don't match up to the perfect model of what we expect. And he just said, I just want to tell everybody that your best is enough. Like, you are enough, and that you don't have to be the best at what you're doing as long as you're doing your best. And that there's some things that you can let go, and Heavenly Father will still love and appreciate you for that. And then he gave the rest of his talk, and like I said, I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember that it wasn't really related to that in my mind. I couldn't really see the coherence of what that story had to do with the rest of his topic. And that was such a good turning point and a good moment for me to know that he shared that really just because I needed it. And there may have been other people in the congregation who needed it, but it was really a good reminder for me that Heavenly Father loves us and that whatever you strive to do, you may not be perfect, and that's okay. But if you're trying, the Heavenly Father will truly make up the difference. It reminds me of one of my favorite scriptures that's been my favorite for years and years, which is in 3 Nephi 5, verse 13. And it says, "Behold, I am a disciple of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I have been called of him to declare his word among his people that they might have everlasting life." Once you know who you are and what's important to you, everything else falls into place. It doesn't mean everything will be easy, but it does mean that Heavenly Father will take care of you. And I hope that that's something that you've gained maybe a little bit of added insight into as you're in this class and in the Pathways program, that as you strive to know who you are, that you can be what Heavenly Father needs to be and everything will work out. I hope you take that testimony with you. I hope that you've enjoyed what you've learned in this class with writing and expressing yourself, and that helps you to be able to help other people as you go through your educational experiences, and also be able to feel like you can communicate in whatever discipline you're interested in. So don't be strangers. If you ever have any questions or want a second eyes to look over any kind of writing that you need, feel free to email me even after the course is over. I'd be happy to keep in touch with all of you. So thank you again for all of your hard work and for the great people that you are. And I hope that you have a great, excellent ending week and a wonderful rest of your semester.